Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting week of 9Moons Rocket League. As always, I am Big Fella, and tonight I'm joined again by the wonderful Novanta. Novanta, how are you?
What? How am I? I am just elated because it's the end of the regular season. You know that means playoffs are just on the horizon. So, of course, had to be in the booth with the man, Big Fella, to call all the action here tonight.
Yeah, well, I am excited to have you here for a fantastic, I'd like to say doubleheader, but we always have two matches anyway. We're gonna have a little bit of an additional match here. We got three matches tonight. It's the last week of the regular season already. Time has flown by so far, and we have a couple of very exciting matches for us ahead. Tonight, our first match is going to be the Soup Kitchen. We got DJ Soup, Sean, and Bree going up against the Flying V's with Captain Equaz, Vamek, and Sanchez. So that'll be our first match, a very exciting one to kick us off, and I cannot wait to get started.
Yeah, you know, the Soup Kitchens kind of have an uneven season, but now's the time to make it happen towards the end, just for some pride and maybe some seeding if they're still in the hunt. But as someone who worked with the Quads before on that Moisty Flick last season, here's a chance to be a hero another week with the Flying V's. It's going to be a tough match to call. I can't call it, but I'll definitely make you call it, so that way if you're wrong, I'll be like, you got it wrong, my friend.
Well, I don't mind being the scapegoat for tonight's match. It's going to be two very solid teams in the league, both fighting for an upper half position in the division heading into playoffs to hopefully secure a higher seed and be able to go up against a slightly easier opponent heading into the playoffs. And, you know, it is the regular season, so it is now or never for these two teams.
Well, now or never, and we know we're here live on that 9Moons Twitch. You're watching right now. You're not following the channel. How dare you hit that button? Best of five as we always do it. And you know when Big Fella's on the call, it's a big matchup. I can't wait, baby.
Well, Soup Kitchen versus Flying V's, we are hopefully going to get right into it. Both teams are very, very excited and vamped to finally compete. We had a little bit of a break. 4th of July weekend, had to celebrate America's birthday. So, now we get to finally enjoy some good old-fashioned Rocket League.
America's birthday, didn't even buy a card. 5 minutes on the clock, the fastest 5 minutes of esports, and it's underway.
Already starting off strong for the Flying V's. Bree getting a really nice, quick shot on net, blocked by Sanchez. Bree again going to try to carry it off the wall. Soup gonna keep it in the blender so far. Soup has been a staple player for his team as the captain, being the all-around assister, but not before Vamek can prove me wrong here. Commentator's curse strikes first blood 30 seconds in.
Well, I don't know what's cleaner, that goal or doing it in the skylines, bringing it down where it needs the most. Being your own insurance policy, that's how you make goals guaranteed. 1-0.
Vamek with a need for speed there. Definitely wanting to provide his team with a little bit of momentum heading into the first minute in the first game of this series of the final week of the regular season. Like I said, Novanta, it is now or never for these teams. Sanchez trying to retreat, but not before Soup can capitalize on the rotation as Soup strikes back swiftly.
Well, it looks like there's an opportunity there to be a hero to block if Vamek plants his wheels in the wrong direction and leaves the net way open for the equalizer. And, well, it wasn't the smartest play, but you had to make a decision. It was just the wrong one. 1-1.
Well, with just under a minute having been played already, both teams have shown they can strike past their defenses. Both teams have one goal on the board with just over 4 minutes. But so far, not too much action. Just been a couple solo plays taking advantage of failed rotations here. But Soup is going to get a demo on Sanchez. Vamek going to strike back, demoing Sean, one of the demo leaders last season here. Sanchez and Bree going to go up for the ball. Not before Sean can hit it into the corner. Starting the offensive drive. Sanchez, again, back into the corner. Missed aerial as well. Bree going to put it back into the blender. Ball still staying in that corner. Sean trying to get up, maybe getting a double touch. And Sean with the assist from Soup. What a play.
Well, I was getting a bit frustrated in the booth going, guys, the net's not in the corner. What are you doing? But finally, it seems to bear fruit. We talk about an equalizer. It's gone no more. Now the score is 2-1.
What a calculated pitch coming out of the Soup Kitchen. These guys are strategic geniuses, man. Constantly berating your net with the offensive aggression that these guys possess. constantly in your face, constantly going for these 50s. You know, definitely showing that they have prowess in this division. Hopefully getting a top 4, top 5 placing by the end of the regular season. And Soup again taking advantage of these rotations, just catching them out. 3-1.
You can talk about the goal to let the cows come home, but if you're a member of the Flying V's, you can't let goals like that happen so quickly in rapid succession. When you have yourselves an aggressive up-tempo defense, you got to be able to cover as much ground as you would like. Right now, it's not going away from them, and they have a 2-goal deficit.
Yeah, right now, again, Bree leading the charge for his teammates on offense. Vamek trying to lead the charge, getting a key demo here on the goalie. Sanchez again unable to capitalize on offense. Vamek forced to retreat, going to play it safe and slow into the corner as Soup going to be up for the 50, ball on the back wall. Sanchez to clear. Equaz though with a nice air dribble past the defense, showing life once more for the Flying V's.
Well, that's something I didn't see every day. Equad's playing up top, basically alone on the island to split the defense and make sure they're still in the game. 2:50 to go is a long, long time to start a rally. Hopefully it starts now for the Flying V's.
Yeah, lots of offensive action so far. It seems, you know, the Soup Kitchen likes to be aggressive off of these kickoffs, tries to get quick counter-attacking goals. Sanchez with a beautiful opportunity, just over halfway to go, and this game is already tied 3-3.
I'm not sure what was happening there. Look like it was going for a nice country drive in the back rows, but look, drive-by doesn't matter. The goal's in the net. You have yourselves another tie there, big fella.
3-3, these guys have been scoring off of each other so quickly. We're only past 2 minutes so far. These guys have been taking advantage of both teams' defenses, quick counterattacks, hitting balls off the corners onto the back wall, and then settling it for their teammate. Open net again, Vamek, but great save by Sean. It was a close one. Flying V's could have taken over the lead. Sanchez again with a nice little air dribble passing Soup, but not before Soup can get a touch, as this offensive drive still continues, now changing in favor of the Soup Kitchen.
Well, here's the thing about momentum. You know, 5 minutes, we say it's quick. I say it's quick plenty of times, but if you know what you're doing, you can stem the tide of an attack. And right now, even though 6 goals have been scored altogether, it's still tied 3-3 in a fashion that makes me go, I can't even call who's the aggressor now.
Yeah, it's been such a great back and forth for both of these teams. I mean, taking care of the demos in the back line. Great bump as well onto Mr. Stoop. Bree barely gets back to it, but these offensive measures from both teams, being able to bump them out of position, being able to take care of the rotations, double commit on offense, though, coming out of the Flying V's. Sanchez and Quaz up on the backboard now. Bree gonna go for a little wild play, missed the ball, but not before Soup can take advantage of that. Tries to pop it over one defender, can't get past 2. Is Vamek going to clear it right to Quaz? Quaz with a little bit of mustard, popping over Sean.
What we're seeing now is a little bit of desperation on both sides. I was going to say I like the fact there was some infield passing on the side of the Flying V's, but they tend to be stuffed out pretty quickly. You know, when you have yourselves beat so many times, if you're the Soup Kitchen, being able to be a nuisance and have yourselves a little bit of an advantage, and that's cleared away the line by Vamek.
Sanchez trying to pass it to Quaz, get that old 1-2 going, but Soup was in the net. Again, ready to lead the charge once again on these quick counterattacks. Something both teams have been capitalizing on so far. Vamek with a great central pass. Deflected off by Bree. Vamek trying to go for a bump, unfortunately misses out. Gets punished for that one. Soup, though, once again being the leading man. Nobody in the net so far. Soup trying to put it in the back, but the corner going to be playing for the Flying V's today. Great 50 though, Sean with the reads. Call him a librarian.
Well, here's the deal. We talked about how strong the rotations were in that first half of the game, but this one seemed like another game altogether. Gloves were off, forget all the pretty stances. This was a slugfest, and now, deep into game 1, it's a 4-3 advantage there for the Soup Kitchen.
Yeah, 12 seconds left. I would not count out Flying V's so far. I mean, they've counterattacked so fast, these guys have been able to score. You know, everybody thinking the game is over, though. Vamek getting a nice beat. 1 second left. The ball bounces. Can they equalize? Yes, they can. Beautiful team play out of the Flying V's to tie it up, and we head into overtime.
Well, that's why you're right there, big fella. Don't blink, especially in the last 10 seconds. Everyone kind of slows up, tries to get ready for the second game when the first game is not done, and that's how you let a lead evaporate. 4-4 in overtime, baby.
You know, a wise man once said the best defense is a good offense, and both teams are applying that ideology as we speak. 7 seconds in, 4-4 so far, 8 goals total scored. Lots of shots coming off as well. Equaz trying to go for a solo ceiling play. Denied, but not before Sanchez can get a nice demo before Vamek can continue setting up his team for success on offense. Soup in the corner as well. Off the backboard, Sanchez getting a bad touch, which might screw them over in the end, but not before Vamek can get a nice 50. Quaz again trying to get his team out of danger. Sanchez losing the 50 again. Ball's going coast to coast on Flying V's half so far.
Screwed them over is that a technical term, but you're absolutely right there. You have yourselves a little bit of that margin for error. It gets smaller as a series goes on, and you know when you have yourself an overtime situation in game one, you know you don't want to drop those games because those are the kind of games that weigh in your mind as the series progresses.
Sanchez with a nice beat, not before he gets demoed, but they have to get that ball out of their half if they want to succeed in this game. One overtime. Bree, the savior so far, getting a nice brick wall save. Now it's his turn to lead the charge. No one's home, but Quaz, last minute save. Being the captain that he is, being able to buy his teammates some time with a great save in overtime. I thought that was going to be over, Novanta.
That was kind of a lazy drive from Bree. You don't get to challenge the league leader in saves last season in Quaz by just walking into the goal like that. You got to strike hard, you got to strike fast, and that will be ruin their day if they end up losing this game.
Sanchez beating 2 off of the back wall so far. Vamek getting a key bump. Sean still maintaining momentum forward for his teammates so far. Soup leading the charge in the 50s. Sanchez getting a decent pinch, but not before Sean can clear it again. Back into the Flying V's half. This is where the pressure starts mounting. Will the Flying V's have enough boost to contest? Will the Flying V's be able to keep up this pressure and finally get the ball cleared out of their half?
They're running high, and it's only the first game in a best of 5. Sometimes you want to be able to say, you know what, let someone score now, please, so we can get ourselves going. But you don't want to be that team that says that. As we had our idea shot on, but it's to the wall, and that's another last-ditch clear. Looks like everyone's hitting a new gear here, big fella.
Yeah, Vamek with a nice attempt as well. I think if Sanchez was able to just hit near post, I don't think Mr. Soup would have been able to get to it in time, but instead chose the far post where Soup was able to get there. So again, these tiny mistakes may add up for the teams the later we go on. But just like you said, Novanta, the momentum comes in the way of the person who scored last. So far, Flying V's technically have this momentum going from regular play, but we've seen in the past couple minutes how aggressive the Soup Kitchen has been so far. The burners are on for this team, and the pressure is mounting.
Yeah, it says a lot that we have 8 goals being scored in regulation. Now 3 minutes have elapsed in overtime, and not nary a goal out of absolutely nowhere. Both teams are hitting a lack of a goal-scoring oasis, if you will. And it makes you wonder about who's going to be the one to change up their tactics. Usually when you have that situation, that means each team is reading each other. You got to be more creative to manufacture a goal out of thin air.
Vamek trying to go for that offensive bump. One of his signature moves that succeeded many times during the regular season, hoping to capitalize on it once again as Sanchez with the ball. Gonna have to beat 2 in order to get it into the back of the net. Vamek low boost decides not to go, but not before Quaz can try to go for a 50 as well. Sanchez up again. The daring offensive duo strikes again. Soup gonna be the savior for his team once again and get that ball cleared out. Trying to start some offensive momentum for them as well with a key bump into the corner. But again, this team so far, the Soup Kitchen is only finding the corner.
Yeah, that corner might be the key to their offense or the key to their undoing. I like going in the corner. It allows you to set up things and play the angles. But if you get the angles wrong too many times and the ball's just floating in front of net, I wonder who's going to be the one to slot it home. There was no one there, and that's another opportunity squandered.
4 minutes into this overtime, basically a second game. These teams are battling it out, fighting the war of attrition just for one more golden goal opportunity. Bree with a wide shot so close to the back of the net. But again, we find the ball in the Flying V's corner for the umpteenth time.
Team time, it may be the case. I'm on the edge of my seat. It's only the first game. I don't know about you, big fella, but I'm exhausted. I want someone to stop the bleeding here because you know what? I think everyone on that pitch right now is just dying for that 60 seconds to stop and regroup. Both offensive attacks are going nowhere, and that was another opportunity from Sean that's clattered away.
We are on track for a top 3 longest game in 9Moons history. Both of these teams just scrapping it out just for one more goal so they can get the initial lead in the series so far, as both teams refuse to give up that one goal. But Quaz with a great air dribble beats 1, beats 2, and that's the end of the first game. Quaz with a huge solo play in his own half, beating out Sean and Bree with an air dribble. What a first game.
Well, absolutely. Talk about creative goals and how do you manufacture goals? Well, give the ball to the most creative person in the dang lead. Quaz makes it happen. Game 1 victory. And you know what, fella? It's only the first game of a best of 5.
Well, I mean, I don't know what else to say other than we still have 2 more series. That was one game. So I don't know how long my voice can take it, to be honest, Devonta. But, you know, what an exciting start to our week so far. The last week of regular season, all players are leaving it out on the pitch tonight. And I cannot wait for Game 2.
Game 2 is happening shortly, but I've got to say, if you're the Soup Kitchen, nothing to be ashamed about. You made sure this overtime period took a little longer than it needed to be. Take the 60 seconds, find out what a tactic has to be. If I was on the pitch, I would say use the walls to your advantage. That's the last space on the pitch that's unmarked. Use that to your key to victory.
Well, hopefully Soup Kitchen can find that key to victory this game here in game number 2. As we head underway, Vamek with a little bit of a phantom touch, but all 3 members are up the field so far. So Quaz going to have to be on the retreat so far. Sanchez, limited boost, tries to do what he can. Vamek able to clear it. Quaz down to Sanchez, just going to self-pass. Ball is centered. Sean going to beat him, though. And again, Soup Kitchen finding themselves in the Flying V's corner again. They just cannot capitalize off of the offensive corner plays. It's been like that for about 5-6 minutes in the entire series so far.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of momentum. I know it's how important it is, but when it comes to an overtime game, a lot of times, if you're on the short end of that, the business end of an overtime loss, especially that long, you get kind of snake bit. You go, I can't believe it. What's happening? You have that last game in your head. It takes a long time for teams to adjust. Here's an opportunity now, though, to get for the Soup Kitchen to find some new tactics and some new strats to get themselves back into this one.
Well, Sean starting off with a good demo, shutting down their offensive play. Typically, Flying V's really do like to double, sometimes even triple commit for that offensive opportunity. So in order to counterattack, almost, you want to be able to shut down their offense, get a key demo, get a key bump, put them out of position, and then counterattack, just like we saw the Soup Kitchen do in that game 1 initially. But so far, Flying V's have been somewhat tighter on the rotations. They've been a lot more aware. So far, things are looking good for Flying V's coming out of that overtime in Game 2.
Well, it's not even just that there, Bigfella. Demos are great, and even number games tend to have more demos than the odd number ones. The Soup Kitchen are basically chasing the demos. You're going after the ones with the balls to get them out to play. That's good. But if you want to be great, you got to demo the car right in front of the player with the ball, the one that will anticipate the pass or that rebound, or else, yeah, well, there you go there. Right on cue there. Soup Kitchen gets one on the board.
Yeah, just like you were saying, they weren't able to shut down that offense. Bree was just following up from Sean. They were able to get a bump on Sean. Bree just picked up right where he left off and got a goal for the Soup Kitchen. 1-0, just under 3 minutes to go.
Well, I guess we're not getting so many goals as we did in that first game if the current pace is to be believed. But yes, a 1-goal advantage separates the Soup Kitchen and the Flying V's. Flying V's with the 1 game in hand, looking to make this a short series because that first game was super long. It was basically a bonus game in hand for them. But I can tell you one thing, even though I said the walls would be the key battleground, we're seeing a lot more action down Broadway. And what a shot that could have gone in if it wasn't a last-ditch clear.
We have been spoiled so much just from game 1. What a save from Sanchez. Unreal, but Bree gonna follow up as well. 2-0 for the Soup Kitchen with 2:20 to go.
I don't know what's more demoralizing, letting an easy ball walk in or trying to save it, but just opens up for the rebound. That said, 2 goals up, 2 goals unscored, don't answer.
Soup Kitchen really starting strong in this game too. I really think they kind of recouped after that overtime loss, said, you know what, we might have made a little bit too many mistakes. No problem, let's recoup in game 2.
Yeah, a lot of times you realize when you're caught yourself scrambling on offense or even worse on defense, all you want is the ball to be reset. Sometimes you kind of wish for a goal to just be scored either way to just give you an opportunity to reset that ball. But even though 3 minutes have elapsed, we're not seeing that 4-4 slugfest we saw in game 1. We're seeing a lot more calculated moves from both teams, but the saves at the line.
Quaz with a nice center again, but unfortunately, Sanchez with a nice center, but unfortunately Quaz can't capitalize. Soup again being exactly where he needs to be for his team. Right place, right time, as always. Quaz unable to get there, but Sean will capitalize, and it is 3-0 now. This offense from Flying V's seemed to have been shut down.
Well, there's something more chaotic neutral than the crossbar. I thought for sure it would have been shanked, but this one worked out in their favor. 3 goals up, 3 goals down, and it's kind of the inverse of that first game.
A little bit of friendly fire there with Sean, I think, going for a bump on his own teammate trying to capitalize that goal. But, a goal is a goal as long as you're able to get there. Quaz with a nice solo play, trying to get it in the back of the net. Surprised Bree a little bit. But again, ball's found in the corner. Sanchez trying to dish it to himself. Great dunk as well, but nobody's there to capitalize. Bree gonna finally be able to hit that ball a little bit forward. Keep those chains moving. As Vamek, no boost to spare, but no problem for him as he pops it up for his teammate. Triple commit now. Vamek out of boost. Can he get back? No! Taking advantage of these rotations that are quite a little greedy, Novanta.
I think you definitely hit the nail on the head. Boost Manager was not the strongest suit being put out of position. It was a long, long way to get back in that play, and you're not fast enough in Supersonic to get there. 4-0 there for the Soup Kitchen.
Definitely a strong showing that game 1 was definitely a warm-up game for the Soup Kitchen here. The soup is finally bubbling a little bit, so definitely feel the chains are moving for this team as well. Vamek gonna try to play it slow in front of their net. A little risky there as Bree gets a touch on there, not before Sanchez can drive it down the field himself. Easy clear for Mr. Soup, ball off the wall. Fake challenge as well. And again, forward progress for the Soup Kitchen once again. Vamek getting back. Quaz whiffing the aerial. Ball moving forward for the Flying V's. Hopefully they can get some momentum going. Sean, last man back. Dodges a demo, not before Soup can retreat in time, but again, Quaz unable to get to the ball where he needs it. Sean and Sanchez is going to get a little bit of an awkward 50 as well. 10 seconds to go, and it's looking like total dominance in favor of the Soup Kitchen.
Yeah, Quasi-Hero in the last game basically rendered invisible in this one, but more telling, an entire team with 5 minutes with nary a score. That's something that has to fix in game 3. Soup Kitchen equalized.
Well, you got to feel good about game 1 being able to take the first game off of your opponent, but it definitely is an issue when you're up 1-0 and then you get shut out the next game. Definitely doesn't feel that great for sure as a team who is trying to get as high position as they can for playoffs. You got to leave everything out on the pitch. You have to give it your all. I think there's got to be some communications about these rotations. They have to be a little tighter. They have to be a little less greedy in terms of triple committing for that offensive drive.
Absolutely, path of victory for the Flying V's. When you had yourself a bit of a lax game, you scored many goals, you saw yourself with a more aggressive opponent, and your scoring opportunities dried up. That means you have to go back to the passing play. Those infield passes, those wall passes, that's how you break a defense.
Yep, Soup Kitchen, again, just being able to capitalize on a lot of plays. Now, Sanchez with a great solo play as well, but not before Sean can clear it. But I need to see a little bit more offensive, maybe a little bit more passing for this team of the Flying V's. These guys excel in the air, thus the name. But you just have to utilize your team a little bit more. Maybe go for less solo plays where teams are expecting it. Maybe try to go for these bumps a little bit more, a little bit demos.
Hey, I just said that.
A little bit of a hectic situation.
I just said that, big fella. That's 10 seconds ago. I just said that.
You're my co-caster. Listen, we have to be on the same page. I'm just agreeing with you. That's all I'm saying.
I quit. I can't work like that. No, you're absolutely right. There's no way to be a hero now because you have an L on your neck. So you got to come up with something new, something innovative, something fresh to get yourself out ahead.
Yeah, Bree, last man back as well. Soup Kitchen on the retreat so far. Ball is in a little bit of a dangerous position. Not for Soup, though, as he clears it back into the corner again. Sanchez going to double back, try to go for another play. Passing Bree, but not before Sean can get that clear out. Bree with a little bit of time. Not enough boost. Just going to shoot it up towards the ceiling as Soup. Going to follow up. And again, lots of ping pong action here. Both teams not wanting to be the first team to get scored on. Double commit on defense, but again, this could be it, taking advantage of the rotation. Bree! Unfortunate jump, but Sanchez gonna say, we take those, as Sanchez striking first blood for this game 3.
Most goofiest goal I've seen in a while. A team pinch, the Novanta whiff, and now we have a 1-0 score. This time for the Flying Vs. They make it after 5 minutes of not scoring a goal. They score first.
Yeah, Vamek leading the charge for the kickoff so far. I think the way Sanchez and Quaz have been playing so far have been pretty well in terms of passing to each other. Sanchez popping it up for Quaz again, but unfortunately Quaz can't get to it in time, as Sean going to try to clear it out, but not before Vamek can put it back into the mixer. Soup, though, with a great clear, just over 3 minutes left.
3 minutes left now. 1 goal does not mean a victory quite yet, and we're seeing a little bit of that bunching that we saw in game 1, just using those corners to your advantage or disadvantage. You know, we want to concede the goals, and it happens a lot in this game. The last thing you want to do is have a ball sail over you, so you're seeing a lot more of a snake bit offense, especially on the side of like Flying Vs, because they want to be able not to concede and have themselves another equalizer, and that hand to Soup Kitchen.
Vamek with a great beat to the ball. They're starting their offense now. Sanchez, a danger in the air. Tries to go for another solo play. Sanchez trying to bump Bree, but in fact, it is Bree who bumps Sanchez. Vamek again, up there solo, waiting for his teammate. Quaz off the backboard. This offense is relentless right now. Soup Kitchen have to get this ball out of their half, and that is indeed what they do.
Thought for sure that would have been a goal opportunity there for Quaz, but apparently a good stop at the line. We're seeing both teams actually, but really more from the Soup Kitchen, have that second man back on that defensive line just in case the ball goes wide, which means they're anticipating the solo plays from the Flying Vs. They have the lead, but you have to be a lot more creative. Try something different. Try some fakes left and going right or top or down to really confuse and put more goals on the score.
Vanek with a top shelf goal, exactly where Grandma keeps her cookies. Great shot, great awareness of where the defense is. What a great shot as well. Leading the charge for the Flying Vs 2-0 in Game 3.
Well, I should probably tell you I started a diet this week, so I'll be having no cookies, but I like the fact that Vamek found a way to make that work for them. 2-0.
Right, Bree off the wall. Soup again continuing the charge for his team, trying to lead and encourage his team, but he says, fine, I'll do it myself. Soup Kitchen finally going to strike one as Soup carries it end to end for the self-dish 1-2 now.
Well, got the defense on ice skates there. I don't know what happened. It was play the cartoon music. It was kind of weird to concede a goal in that fashion, but you're right there, fella. All goals are worth the same. We have a 1-goal advantage there.
Yep, 1-goal advantage is never that comfortable. Quaz with a great solo shot, though. Vamek, 0 boost. Going to try to go for a setup. Instead, goes for a bump and gets punished a little bit. Quaz, again, going for these awkward bumps on the retreat, which is very odd. But again, they're going to try to do a Flying V maneuver. Sanchez, though, going up for the ball. Vamek to follow as well. Ball is centered. Quaz is not ready for that quite yet. I was going to bounce off the ceiling, go for a crazy play with the pass off of Sanchez, but Vamek not in position. Bree going to get a free clear here. See if they can tie it up with just under 1 minute.
Earlier in this series, I talked about what it means to be creative, and there's no doubt in my mind the Flying Vs are the more creative team, but you know, creativity is great, but you have to score. How many times have we hit crossbar? How many times I'm saying clang, clang, clang here in the casting booth? You got to execute.
Yeah, it is the end of the regular season. There's no time for mistakes, and even if so, the only time you want to make mistakes are when you're winning, not when you're down 1 with 20 seconds left. You have to kick on the burners. You got to start being a little bit more aggressive. Clear that ball. Make sure you don't lose these 50s. But unfortunately, the Soup Kitchen playing it a little too slow for comfort. 10 seconds remaining now. Ball is still in the Soup Kitchen's half so far. Bree Gonna try to go for an aggressive maneuver. Sanchez gets bumped out the way. Sean, Bree, and DJ Soup are in their half. The ball goes down. 4 people go up. Nobody touch it. Ball's gonna bounce as well. Flying V's take game 3, leading 2-1 in the series.
To be the most frustrating loss for the Soup Kitchen quite yet. It was an opportunity towards the end because the Flying V's had so many shots on frame, but nothing was hitting for them. And you guys just decided to lose your composure a bit. There was a bit bunching on their right side, on that left side flank for that attack, and that was ultimately your undoing. The one that controls the most space at once tends to have the advantage. And I'm looking at you, Soup Kitchen. You're looking at defeat. Do yourself a favor and spread the heck out.
Yeah, we saw a lot of double committing opportunities that happened from Bree and Sean in that third game. It was not looking pretty. Soup trying to rotate out best he can, but unfortunately, with just that much pressure coming out of Team Quaz, it's really, really hard to constantly be everywhere and also everywhere your team needs you to be.
Well, you're absolutely right there, fella, but it's calling about setting us up for success. You know, you may have a tough pressure, but as long as you're away from your teammate, then you get yourself some room to maneuver.
Absolutely. Well, Sanchez clearing the ball for his team, giving his team a little bit of room to breathe as Vamek once again clears the ball down the field. Sean to miss. Vamek trying to read that dunk, but isn't able to get that. Big bump on a Sean. Soup has been great so far this series at avoiding these key bumps from the opponents. Maybe not his teammates, though, as Sean absolutely decks Mr. Soup. But again, this game 4 could be anybody's game so far. We're only a minute in, and so far no goals have been scored, but both teams have showed prowess in terms of being able to hit the back of that net.
Yeah, so aggressive, knock at your own teammates. I love that kind of energy. But yes, game 4, anyone's game still tied at 0 apiece. Even though the Flying V's are at series point, they don't have this one secure at all because we are seeing a little bit of that spread out action I've been so desperately waiting for.
Yeah, almost capitalizing that. Soup trying to get a quick one off on the board, but unfortunately just a little wide. Would have made it in otherwise, but Bree, last man back, going to try to pressure the net as well. Hitting a little wide as well, but again, Sean going to pepper the backboard once again. Eventually, try again, and you will get it, but so far they have not hit the back of the net so far. After about a minute of insane pressure from the Soup Kitchen, the Flying V's survive.
Kind of like the opposite we saw in that last game. So many times you can pepper the net, but you gotta like go somewhere in the middle. You want to be able to say, look, I'm gonna give myself a short thing, let my defense find a way to clear it. Don't try to get too fancy if your shooting accuracy is not the way you want it, because you're pretty much wasting your offensive drive.
Ball gonna be in the Flying V's corner once again. Could game 4 be the game changer for the Soup Kitchen? As Bree trying to go up for a solo play, attempting to beat 3. Vamek and Sean are up. Gonna be a nice 50 pinch in favor of the Flying V's. Bree has to get a nice settle off of the wall, but this is perfect grounds for a solo play by Quaz. Trying to get past 1, but does not beat DJ Soup so far. Sanchez getting a nice pinch back into the corner, putting it in the mixer. Vamek, signature play, trying to go for those demos to open up offensive drives. Huge save as well. Vamek demoing the back line. Soup, 0 boost, has to get back. Finally able to contest the ball, but this game is nuts.
Yes, more of that, please. Look at that, how close that was to going in there to being the most cheat-kids play we've seen. Didn't work out for their favor, but that's the kind of creativity I've been clamoring for. Being able to knock your opponent off of the mark to make your opponent go, where the heck is the guy I'm supposed to be marking, and have a shot on frame. You can't get better than that, except for scoring.
Well, Quaz getting a couple nice defensive 50s out of the player as the ball again back into the corner of the Flying V's, seeing if they can capitalize once more. As Bree back into the corner. Sanchez buying a little bit of time. Unfortunate double touch, though. This could spell disaster for Flying V's, but not before Vamek can attempt a clear. Now a little bit of time for Quaz, not what you want to give him. Soup already up, but what a crazy bump as well. Sean now having to play defense so far. What a crazy series of events so far, ladies and gentlemen, as Vamek going to double commit with Sanchez as Soup and Sean make their way down the field.
I love that little bit of okey doke there from Quaz and company. Didn't work out for them another time. But that's the thing I'm saying a lot. These are plays, these are drives we haven't seen yet. And that's how good teams find a way to break out when needed. To come up with some kind of play that make you go, where are they going? And if your opponents know where you're going, then half the battle's won.
Great movement out of DJ Soup trying to keep the ball back in, but Sanchez with a solo play of his own does not beat Bree. Bree once again getting a vital touch. Last man back, Quaz with the fake challenge. Sanchez going up for it, realizes he can't get it, but this could be an opportunity for the team. Counterattack now for the Soup Kitchen, just Sean now. Ball's gonna pinch outward as Sanchez gets a demo onto Soup. Vamic gets a demo on Bree. Sean with no boost, last man back. Another demo! This is a Michael Bay movie. Everybody is dying. All this explosion is happening. Bree gonna slow down the ball, but not before Sanchez can boom it back down into the field for the Soup Kitchen.
We gotta clip that. This is a Michael Bay movie. Everyone's dying, but that's exactly how it feels. It's a blockbuster to say the least. Game 4 action, and at the line, another opportunity cleared away there. I don't know about you, big fella, but this right here is the epic one, and it's only the first series of the night.
5 seconds left. I believe we're heading into our second overtime of the night as Sanchez trying to dish it down, but not before Soup can pop it back up. Maybe going for a solo play of his own. Ball's going to bounce down as well. Bree! Oh my goodness, the 0-second goal nobody thought would be possible. What a great way to keep up the ball. Great teamwork from Soup and Bree. Unfortunate touch from Sanchez, but what a capitalization. Unreal win for the Soup Kitchen.
Well, that right there was just a cascading things that had to come in place to be in the corner at the right angle, not hit that shot down, and we avoided an overtime situation, but we have a game 5 situation there, fella.
Unreal gameplay coming out of both these teams. We knew from game 1 it was going to be a hectic series from 8 goals or 9 goals with the overtime in just the first game. These teams are battling it out. They do not want their last regular season game to be a loss. So both teams are really fighting hard for that spot up in the playoffs.
Well, if you guys didn't believe before, the demos we saw in that last game should be every indicator of what this means to them. 9Moons Gaming, the best season ever, just got better. Game 5, Flying V's against the Soup Kitchen. I can't call it, but I'll be here to watch it.
This game, and honestly, most of these series throughout the entire season have been so close, it's impossible to call. All of these teams have been significantly improving over the season. Sean with the great aerial as well. Again, like, all players have been improving the synergy, the comms, like, everybody is just getting way better. But Quaz just gonna dunk it into the back of the net saying, shut up, fella, I'm here to play and win.
It's like, better? I'll show you better. This way, off the wall, coming across clear. You know, one of those shots is kind of like, put the Octane body forward and let the Lord take it where it needs to go. And that's exactly what we just saw, 1-0.
13 seconds in, Quaz leading the team with a beautiful slam dunk, leading his charge for the team. Sanchez getting a nice 50. Can he get the double tap? He can, but not into the back of the net. Another center for the team, but Vamic just gonna hang it back so far, trying to maintain that 1-goal lead, which is not much, especially in a game 5 where there were 9 goals scored. Soup almost upper 90, unable to put it in the back of the net. Does beat Vamic though. Another fake by Quaz, beating out Bree as well, beating out Sean now. Soup having to come up a little bit to keep that ball in play. Nobody's in the net. Oh, just wide again. Quaz being able to let his team breathe once again with a beautiful clear. Beating 1, beating 2, and making that goal score to be 2. As Quaz again, within 1 minute, has now increased the lead to 2-0.
It's like we call a casino goal. You get so close to hitting jackpot, you don't, and then Lady Luck sends it the other way. 2 goals up, 2 goals down, 2-0 there for the Flying V's.
I can't believe it. These series games, man, have just been so back and forth. One team is dominating, then the other team dominates, then one team dominates, then the other. It's just unbelievable. These games have been so back and forth. Both teams have the potential to take each other down, but it's just immense to see the adaptation of each other's play styles. Everyone's bumping now. Everyone's getting demos. Sean with another demo onto Quaz. Can Vamic do the self-dish? No, but it was just a fake for a pass as Sanchez puts it back. And I have to say the Soup Kitchen might be in trouble as 3-0 now is the score in favor of the Flying V's.
Well, forget the goal, forget the 3-goal lead. To be able to have 2 men around your net with no one in position, those are things that make you go, 3-0 there for Flying V's.
Both of these teams so desperate for a win. It is hard to come back from an 0-3 deficit, but we've seen both teams have been able to score high numbers in the series just from that game one alone. It is definitely possible. You can't count them out quite yet, but Sanchez gonna get a bullet into the back of the net, and Soup just not ready for the speed.
Oh, look out below. You're talking about a posterizing goal from the sky, down, pass, with a bounce. Goodness me. That is 4, and they're looking for the nickel.
4-0 so far. Unreal how one-sided this game is so far, and we're not even halfway in, Novanta. Both teams are duking it out, but it just looks like the Flying V's have got the Soup Kitchen's number.
Definitely true, but you hit the nail on the head off the top. There's more than half time to go here. You can score 4 goals in 2 minutes. You could definitely score 4 goals in 3. You got to make sure that if you are that other side, if you are the Soup Kitchen, you got to do whatever you can to keep yourselves back in the game.
Soup leading the charge for the defense. Vamek trying to put it back into the mixer, but not before Bree can clear it downfield. Great stop by Sanchez. Gets the flip reset. Not too much capitalization on there. Just going to hit the back wall, but not before Soup again can carry it. Quad's going to try to stop that momentum, but it almost gets him in trouble. Sanchez gets a nice save. Vamek up in the air, realizes nobody else to contest him. Going to try to play it slow, but it is beat by Soup. Again, ball is on the back wall for the umpteenth time once again in this game 5. 2 minutes, 20 seconds. Quaz with an open net, getting ready to score. Soup with a great save as well, keeping his team alive.
Well, that's one of the flaws when you have a 1v1 player. I don't know Quaz as a spare time. I can tell they're one's main because so many times you get yourself outside rotation to be more of a threat in defense. There's that half flip, try, turn around, which is great, but it slows everyone down and creates a log jam. Hopefully it hasn't been exploited yet, but that could have been an opportunity for them to have a 5th or 6th goal by now.
Vamek with a great clear again, keeping this pressure on them in game 5. Very, very key to prevent Soup Kitchen from ever having opportunities to score. If they could just keep it in the Soup Kitchen's half for the rest of the game, they would be happy. Great bump to be in the center for Sanchez, but unfortunately gets beat out in the 50. Quaz again going to try to take it on his own. A little too high for his liking, so he's going to back off, but not before Vamek again can keep that ball in the danger zone for the Soup Kitchen. Soup Kitchen trying desperately to keep it out of their net. Soup is trying his best. So many saves this series. But unfortunately, with those 4 goals to 0, it is not looking likely they have to fight with all they got for their last game in the regular season.
You know, I like Vamek. I like Vamek a lot. I have the dubious pleasure of being dunked on by Vamek, but sometimes I think they're just a bit too selfless for their own liking. Could have been an opportunity to have the dagger there, even though with 4 goals up, and decided to do 1 pass too many. And if you are the Soup Kitchen, that's the kind of thing that really sticks in your craw. There's no way that you should be down as many goals as you are, especially with a team like the Flying V's not playing at full capacity.
Yeah, I mean, in game 1, we saw how close it was. Both teams just duking it out, really trying to go for these crazy plays. And I like the demo coming out of Bree as well. Very, very important, but it may just be too late. There's only 30 seconds left. There's not much opportunity to take in 30 seconds when it comes to trying to get 4 goals.
Well, stranger things have happened, but now you're playing for pride now. No one wants to be shut out of a game, so just get 1, pull it back, and just give a little bit of a GG to actually before time hits 0.
Sanchez just trying to get into the faces of the Soup Kitchen. 10 seconds left. Will the Soup Kitchen be scoreless in this game 5?
Seeming that way. And there you have it. We have seen enough there. In the 5 games, the Flying V's walk out of a fight, a slugfest. They don't look pretty. They got a couple bumps and bruises, but the job has been done there, fella.
What a back-and-forth series, Novanta. I just have to say, both teams have come out to play. Both teams dominated a game or two, but in the end, Flying V's took the W, and that's definitely going to help them when it comes to playoffs later on.
Well, absolutely. And if you know what, not only for them, for everyone else watching in the stream right now, taking note to see how it's going to be in playoffs. If you're in that stream, make sure you hit a follow. 9Moons Gaming, the premier gaming league, is just getting bigger and better. You want to be in the ground floor when it happens. But fella, that's only the first match of a triple header this evening. Who do you got up next?
All right, so we have one of the best teams in our league so far. We got Team DedGoose headed up by Faden. We have Goose as well on that team. These guys have been dominating so far with only 2 losses in their record during the regular season. These guys have been killing it. Now they are up against the third place Atlas512, headed by our previous champion, Snarf, as well as N4K. These guys are killers out on the pitch, and I am very excited. Probably is going to be one of the highlights of the week. These two teams, I cannot wait for them to duke it out tonight.
Well, this right here has the main event written on over at Atlas512. The more or less super club of 9Moons is going to be live momentarily against one of the hottest teams in the league. You couldn't call it any better than that, and we have a front row seat.
I am just ecstatic. I mean, these guys have put up such great numbers, have put out such entertaining games. We saw DedGoose up against Fribidunks a couple weeks back in an exciting Game 5 overtime. These guys really came to play, and I am so excited to see how much they've learned over the course of the season since the last time we saw them on stream.
Almost curious to see how the first game is going to be. Who's going to be the one to strike first? You know, you're in that tournament situation, you're on that live stream, the stream jitters, that goes without saying, but you're ready, you're warm, you've been screaming all afternoon, but you're waiting for the first game to finish to make sure it's your time to go. You got to see who's going to have nerves of steel, who's going to have that ice in their veins, especially with that opening silo. Who's going to draw first blood there, fella? I can't call it, but if I were to call it, don't put it against me if I'm wrong, but DedGoose may be the one to strike first.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame you at all for picking the second seed. These guys are absolute veterans to the scene. I mean, Faden's been with us for a very long time, season after season, has always been a staple captain for every team he's played on. Very fantastic player, all around very knowledgeable. Any players looking to improve, definitely seek out Faden. This guy is a mastermind in terms of utilizing his players to work best for their team. Now, on the other hand, Atlas512 has been a very solid team so far. The combination of N4K and Snarf have been absolutely incredible. Throughout the entire season, we've been watching these guys play back-to-back games, and I mean, honestly, these guys have just it's the perfect team you want to watch, man. They're flashy, they're always there for each other. Snarf always in position, ready for any of N4K's antics. It is going to be a sight to behold for tonight's match.
Yeah, it's like a kaiju battle, which like the first game was really more about creativity on the run of play. This one here is going to be skills against fundamentals. Who's going to be able to tie this rotation? Who's going to be able to want to pass the baton around of being the scoring maven and the defensive warden when it needs to be, and who can do it quicker than their opponent will be all questions that's going to be answered momentarily. But what I say about DedGoose, I was privileged enough to be in the booth watching them live. They just have a way of anticipating not only where their opponent's going to be, but when the teammate's going to be at the same time. Incredibly difficult to nail. A lot of teams try that and fail, and that's been the difference for them all season. So hopefully we're going to have an answer to who's going to be the better club, but it's just so great, so rich. These teams are coming to a head here tonight.
Yeah, with only a few game differentials as well, and only a one win off of their record that marks the difference between these guys. I mean, they are absolutely top caliber 9Moons team material. I mean, both teams have outshined, many other teams throughout the season. And I mean, for good reason. We've seen so many close games. We've seen so many great plays coming out of both teams. I'm just very excited to see how these two teams will react and, adapt to each other's play styles and, see who the better team is in the end.
Let me ask you a question there, fella. You are an OG. You have all the skills. You know all the metas. I haven't played with Snarf quite yet, but I heard the legend of Snarf. Wherever you talk from in the in-house chat, whether you mean the Twitch chat, everyone's like, this guy is great. What is their key to victory here tonight? What did they have to do for their team to give Atlas512 the edge?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, these guys have Snarf's experience as one of those, freestyle players, I'd like to call, is just his ability to adapt to any team is really what makes him a championship caliber team. So, I mean, I think that he has to carry over his ability to adapt when it comes to Faden, when it comes to Goose, being able to adapt to their aggressive play style. Faden and Goose really like to play these tight-knit rotations where they really choke you out in terms of the boost and everything else. And, it's really going to be up to N4K and Snarf to conserve as much boost as possible in this really tight-knit, really aggressive series between the two Titans.
Well, the time for talk is over. It's now about action. Another 5 minutes on the clock. We're already in progress here in game one. It's Atlas512 against DedGoose.
Really nice aggressive play. I mean, DedGoose always known for their aggressive kickoffs, typically being able to win the kickoff and then having a secondary person just continue that aggression. But N4K gonna shut me up again. 30 seconds in, they already strike first blood with a great capitalization of a couple whiffs off of the defense from DedGoose.
What there are mistakes, just fakes here in Rocket League. And yes, capitalizing your opponent's mistakes is Rocket League 101. Even I would say rule -1. Why not? 1-0's the score.
Goose with a great kickoff here to start things off. Faden gonna try to get into the corner a little bit off the backboard, trying to bait out a couple flyers out of Atlas512, but not before a great clear is initiated. Deadman walking, trying to go for that double tap. Snarf just gonna be on the retreat, leaving Dark by himself as Goose gonna recognize that, take a great shot on net, tie the game up with just over 4 minutes left in the game.
You know what this reminds me of? Like when you have a giant fight waiting to happen, but before they have the fight, they take off the gloves and slap each other with it. These two goals were soft as heck, but you know what? They were even, 1-1.
Just a little bit of mind games here coming out of both sides, saying, hey, listen, we can do far greater things to you than just these simple goals. Do not worry. So just a little banter in between the games, and honestly, quite a little bit of a warm-up for these guys. Deadman walking, Goose, and Faden doing a really great job of just, constantly choking out the defenses of their opponents. But Snarf, again, beautiful positioning. What a passing play from N to Snarf. Great counterattack.
Snarf, Snarf. That's what I'm talking about. The pass down Broad Street to see where your teammate's going to be. That's a page in that DedGoose's book. And you know what? Atlas512 has done a lot of studying. They have the lead.
Atlas512 has always been a fantastic team when it comes to being able to adapt to opponents' strategies. That's why they are high up on the leaderboard so far this season. Now, that does not take away from DedGoose's offensive pressure. The pressure that these guys, when done correctly, and these guys are so good at doing, it's you don't have enough boost to contest anything, and these guys just do an insane barrage of shots until they land it in the back of your net, and they will not let up.
Yeah, boost driving strategy has a lot of small sniveling countermeasures, but they're a pain in the butt to execute. And well, at this level especially, they tend to be a almost guaranteed win if you do it right. Even though one goal does separate these two teams, we're seeing a different level, it seems, than on the first series we saw. Both teams know each other very well, and like we said before, fundamentals are their strong suit. So we're not seeing too many, well, we're seeing demos now too. We're not seeing too many misses when it counts.
Deadman walking with a great demo. As well as a nice shot on net. I believe Goose or Faden was trying to go for another bump for them to get an easy shot on net, but unfortunately unable to capitalize. Goose up with Snarf. N4K going to try to clear it out. Faden's going to turn now and beat into the ball. Luckily, Snarf is back. Beautiful pass again. These two players are just absolutely incredible with their synergy against each other. Dark, again, in your face. Great positioning as well. Trying to keep that ball in the mixer. Hopefully getting a lucky shot on goal. But Dark has plans to just put it in the back of the net. Faden going to try to take it to the wall now.
Well, like I said a minute ago, that both these teams are pretty easy. But you have to give the tip of the cap to Atlas512. The way they attack that net, it's almost like a Hydra, like a DNA symbol. It's coming from all different directions. And you know what? Sooner or later, someone's going to hit pay dirt. Dark, everyone shoots around. 3-1.
N4K being a great initiator for his team. I mean, being able to set up his teammates is very valuable as a captain. I mean, it's something that both captains possess, with, Faden being able to really utilize the teammates' personalities and play styles, and really, optimize them for his team. I mean, you know, they didn't get second place for, you know, no reason. These guys have just been absolute killers so far on the pitch, but, you know, I would like to see a little bit more aggression coming out of DedGoose here. Seems like a lot of space is being created for Atlas512 so far. So I think they need to bite down a little bit harder when it comes to that alligator choke. And Deadman walking, leading the charge so far into the corner, seeing if he can do anything against Snarf. Trying to beat 3, but the 1v3 is going to be a little too strong as Dark. Putting the ball up, and it goes back into the corner as N4K again trying to lead the charge for his team. 3-1, just over a minute left.
Yeah, you know, I can't blame DedGoose for being a little bit less on the aggressive side, just because the 2 of the 3 goals that were scored is these giant lobs down the pits, and so you get kind of used to that rhythm. You want to be able to be reflexive, but you're right. If Atlas512 find a way to keep switching up their goal-scoring tactics to really put DedGoose on the outs, it's going to be a tough time for DedGoose if they don't find a way to tighten that up.
45 seconds left. Deadman walking, just going to try to ditch into the corner, but Snarf's racing him to it. Great defensive play out of Deadman walking already with a quick counterattack. Dark with a nice clear as well. DedGoose was not ready for it, so we're going to have to be on the retreat so far. 30 seconds left. Goose going to get 50'd in the own corner. Ball is just going to go coast to coast so far. Goose trying to get the read. Unable to capitalize so far. Deadman walking, going to shove it down, try to start an offensive play. N4K is ready for it. Ball bounces a little too high for him, though. Going to get knocked back. Faden, last man. Going to try to be aggressive here. Go for a fake challenge. 2 goals to score in 5 seconds. Not going to look promising for Team DedGoose. So just like Atlas512 is going to take one, they're going to strike first blood in this best-of-5 series up against the second seed DedGoose. But, I mean, honestly, I think DedGoose really tried, you know, sticking to their guns so far, and, you know, I think they were just punished for maybe being a little bit too greedy on those rotations.
Yeah, you know, Atlas512 did some things that will always try to bang our head against the wall, and that's use your team and use all axes, X, Y, and Z on the pitch. You can't knock fundamentals. You can't knock using the entire pitch to your advantage. If you're DedGoose, you played a good game, you hung in there, but your production was not as good. There's something that breaks down in the upper third that has to be tightened up.
Already starting off strong, Goose with a great kickoff, but looks like they're going to back off for a little bit of boost. Snarf trying to capitalize. Nobody's going to touch the ball so far, so Faden's going to go ahead and claim that ball for himself. Beating out 2, striking first blood. Beautiful play out of Faden, beating 2 when nobody wanted to go for the ball. Faden would, and he gets a great shot on net.
Well, talk about being a little bit brazen and brave. A lot of times a car would have gone the other direction to give a teammate a chance to score, but, you know, if individual efforts are always great if you score first. There's it, 1-0.
Faden taking it upon himself to try to get first blood and really rally his team for a more offensive aggression. I mean, that was a beautiful play executed by Faden himself to try to encourage his teammates to start going for a little bit more aggressive plays here. As Faden, again, leading the charge for these demos. Goose trying to pass it up to Deadman Walk, but not before Snarf can interfere.
Well, you know what? We talk about being aggressive in those even number games. That's the reason, because no one wants to go 2 down. And if you're the one with the game score tally, you want to get another one back to back. And so we're seeing a lot more closing space, a lot more shadow defense, definitely more of them demos, baby.
And 4K trying to lead the charge, but not before Faden can intervene. As again, everybody very passive towards the ball. Deadman walking, going to call Faden off with his car as he tries to get a clear. Goose going to fake out N4K as well. Deadman going to attempt to go for it. Faden, the last man. Can Snarf defend it? Yes, he can. With a nice flying save. Going to be able to put a stop to the offense, but not before Deadman walking again can clear it. A little bit of a triple commit coming out of Team DedGoose, but so far so good for the blue team. As N4K going for a solo play, Goose going to intercept it. As Faden going to get a nice quick clear to Goose as Goose pops it up for Deadman walking. Really utilizing those passing plays. It seems like they might have been stream sniping you, Devonta, and listening to your advice.
I'll take that any day of the week, but here's another piece of advice. Stop with the double and triple commits. Any more committal, we hear wedding bells sooner or later. Give your teammates some space. Give yourself an opportunity to score or defend.
Well, here in 9Moons, all we ask you to commit is just your Monday nights to us. And luckily, all these players so far have been very kind to that. And 4K, going to get a nice bump into the goalie. Not before Faden and Goose double commit on that 50. A little bit of an opportunity, a little bit of space created for this team. As Atlas512 trying to keep those chains moving forward as all three members of DedGoose going to go up for the ball, and all three are going to miss. Faden, though, gets a nice little touch, buying them a little bit of time, and 4K going to demo Deadman walking, but not before the captain can get his revenge.
If you're Atlas512 right now, you're saying, look, we're down by one, we have the one game in hand, but 3 times in rapid succession, there was a shot where all 3 cars got on the ball. That means there's a breakdown in communication. So what I suggest, you try to do a wide pass, either left to right in the pitch, or like almost corner to corner to really stretch that defense. Because if everyone's committing to every ball every time, no one can be all places at once.
Not wanting to interrupt Navanta, but there have been about 10 demos in the past 20 seconds so far. Both teams just absolutely scrapping with each other, unrelenting right now as N4K and stuck in a little bit of an awkward position, buying a little bit of time, but not before Faden again can get another car under his belt. Snarf with a beautiful shot just high as Goose going to be the last man back. Faden, can he get a redirect? Oh, off the crossbar. Goose again off the backboard, so close of an opportunity to further that lead to 2-0, but Dark's going to be in the position where he can get a nice clear and stop that offensive momentum from Team DedGoose. 90 seconds left.
That was a throwback. I felt like the time when demos were worth points. Jeepers, you're right. It's just, everyone's going crazy. Still, last 90 seconds, the witching hour, if you will, only 1 goal has scored in favor of DedGoose. And as I say that, cast or curse or cast or blessing, we have an equalizer.
Well, a little bit, again, of taking advantage of these a little bit loose rotations. You're up by 1 for most of the game. You feel a little confident, feel a little loose. Maybe a couple accidents happen. You go up for a 50, you lose boost, and you find yourself in your opponent's net while your other teammates are on defense. So these things can happen in the last 90 seconds, just like you said, Navanta. So tie game so far. We might see an overtime judging on how fast these goals have been scored throughout the series, but you never know, Navanta. There could be some quick goals that happen here for DedGoose.
Well, I was going to be honest with you. Even though DedGoose had the advantage, didn't really have the composure. It was really easy to exploit. Let's see if they find a way to come out with something out of their hat, or will Atlas figure them out and have themselves a go-ahead goal?
Well, Dark trying to keep it in the mixer so far. Snarf, only 1 back. Team DedGoose going to allow him to hit the ball. Going to go off the ceiling, though, and already up, beating out Faden if he needs to. Double commit on defense. This could prove to be disastrous. Goose, though, going to use all his boost to stay up in the air in case they got to it. Goose, though, going to get a nice rule, too, but Faden going to stay back just in case something happens. And 4K playing it safe off the corner as well. Might be able to dribble it in. No, going to get a nice pinch back to the other corner. Coast to coast we go. Deadman and Walken and Faden are going to dribble up themselves. 10 seconds left. This could be disaster. Dark, is there anybody home? This ball is so close to being scored. 4 seconds left. It just walks itself right in.
N4K catches the defense sleeping in 4K with a bouncer all the way back. That's what happens when you're being too aggressive. You make sure you have those consequences locked away. Didn't happen for them, and it's now 2-1 Atlas512.
Oh, you gotta feel bad if you're on DedGoose, man. Being up 1-0 for most of the game, now down by 1 in game 2. You gotta feel for this DedGoose team. They were so close to pulling out the W.
Well, call me a hater, but I didn't. You see, when you watch this on this last game back, you realize that DedGoose was so aggressive on the ball, they left wide areas of the pitch unmarked. That last goal should have been the easy clear. Doesn't mean all is y'all set. You have 2 games down if you're DedGoose. Just trust your team. You were so aggressive, so dominant this season. Go back to what worked. Occupy different swaths of the pitch at once. Put yourself in a position to turn either way, and this game is yours.
Yeah, I think the game-winning goal really was decided off of that demo. I think Goose was in a position to save that, but wound up being demoed in the back line. So it was really Faden and Deadman Walken that got caught off guard, and they tried to get back, but unfortunately just wasn't quick enough. But these guys have just absolutely been taking advantage and just have been so quick on counterattacks that N4K and the rest of Atlas512 have just been so good at figuring out the weak points of each team this season and being really able to capitalize off of that.
Well, Atlas512 is not out of this quite yet. The shooting accuracy took a bit of a hit. Let's hope it's on a downward trend. Game 3, looking at series point there for the 512 squad.
I'm confident DedGoose is hopefully able to get one back here in revenge. I am almost certain, Novanta, that these guys have rallied in this tiny bit of a break in between games 2 and 3. You know, don't want to do a prediction, but I am very confident these guys have rallied and, you know, are definitely motivated to take one game out of this series at the very least.
Well, we can hope for that. Make sure we have ourselves a classic banger, because we know going into this one, it really was the main event. And as I say that, that was a shot that could have been a frame if it wasn't clouded away at the last possible second.
Deadman walking, gonna double commit with Faden here. Faden with 0 boost. Deadman walking also being the aggressor so far this game. 1 minute left, or 1 minute to go underneath game 5 so far. As Faden gonna try to pepper the backboard a little bit. Dark with a nice touch off the backboard, and again, these quick counterattacks. N4K is so ready for this.
Seeing now a little bit of that ping pong action. It looks like both teams are trying to figure out what the other team has up their sleeve. Kind of a reprise of game 1, because you know both teams have tried to employ new tactics. Still tied at 0 apiece. But even though I say there's a ball hanging in front of net, and that's knocked aside.
Deadman walking. Opportunity for space here. Snarf gonna try to stall the ball. Beats out Faden. And this could be a great opportunity for a counterattack as N4K gonna pop it up. Snarf gonna steal the boost once more. See if he can capitalize, but gets bumped. No, Dark on the retreat as well. N4K in the net. Snarf is trying to buy time, get Dark a little bit of boost and opportunity for space. As N4K gonna beat out Faden. Gets a nice wall pinch as well. Goose with a nice pinch of his own. Faden with a nice demo on to Snarf. Unfortunately spawned wrong. N4K with a crazy close save. Again, both teams wanting to strike first blood so far. Faden again with another great demo onto the team captain N4K. N4K not in the greatest of positions right now, but will be able to clear the ball away from Goose, but not Faden, as Faden gonna go for a nice 50 in the corner once more.
Yeah, we're still tied, but not for lack of trying, especially with DedGoose. Talk about being an aggressor. We haven't seen all the demos quite yet, but to be able to even have shots on frame, going by unfortunate response, there's a lot of determination there from that blue side.
Great last minute adjustment out of Goose to save that, and it turns out to be a great counterattack as well. Goose barely getting a touch on that. Faden was already moving up the field, so it turned into the perfect counterattack. Great last minute adjustment for Goose to flip into the ball there to start that counterattack for DedGoose.
Yo, fella, let me ask you a question. How is that goal different, right? Everyone was separated. Bada boom. That's exactly what happened just then.
I mean, honestly, these teams are pulling out the shots. They're doing as much as they can. They do not want to go out in a shutout for the series. They don't want to be 3-0'd by Atlas. These guys are giving it all they've got. Last-minute adjustments. Great tight-knit rotations. These guys are trying to do it all, but it may not be enough as Dark gets a nice blooper into the back of DedGoose's net with just under 2 minutes to go. It is 1-1.
Sometimes that's just skill mixed with a little bit of raw faith. It was a lob. I thought for sure it would have been stopped or cleared, but hey, you know what? Get yourself on frame and make sure you make your own destiny. We're having the equalizer.
Deadman walking and Goose already in prime position. Deadman walking just gonna strike before Atlas512 can think, and now it is 2-1. Just under 2 minutes once more, but Deadman walking getting a key goal to further increase the lead once more.
This is how you maintain the momentum of the shift in our team. When you have conceded a goal, it's now tied. If you score really quick, that says, you know what? Whatever you can do, I can do better. And that's a bit of that psychological pressure.
Yeah, ball speed starting to go a little bit faster now. Both teams feeling a little bit warmed up, feeling a little spacious, if you will. Trying to get a little harder hits for their teammates. Gonna try to just rush the ball down the field. Goose getting a nice stop to N4K's solo play. Faden again gonna get another nice touch. Dark on the retreat with 0 boost. N4K gonna turn, ball is centered. Goose up for the ball. Off the wall, starting the offensive counterattack though. Dark getting a nice touch. N4K getting another nice touch. Deadman walking. Gonna miss the ball. Can N4K put it in at the position? No, but Dark, again, being in the right position, right time. Snarf also going up for the play. Out of position, though, unfortunately. Faden not getting the ball in time. N4K gonna try to tee it off of Snarf so far, as N4K trying to buy his team a little bit of time, give him a little bit of opportunity and space for the offensive drive. Deadman walking and Faden gonna get a nice 1-2 combo as well.
Almost, it seems almost 40 seconds of just attacks on the net, and finally gets it cleared away on the other side. And it makes you wonder, or I don't even wonder, you don't want to put yourself in that position because the levees can easily break, and you could have conceded right then. You have a ball coming at you, do what you can, don't necessarily boom it, but get it away from your net as quickly as possible.
The signature play out of Atlas512 is their ability to counterattack so quickly that you're not ready for it. So being that they're playing slow offense right now is giving DedGoose a little bit of breathing room. For the past minute, they have been barraged with a bunch of shots on net, but time and time again, DedGoose has survived. 1 second left. Deadman walking, gonna put it down. DedGoose have life, Novanta. They have struck. Now, finally, they got one on the board.
I said it before and I'll say it again. You make sure when you concede a goal to score as quickly as you can, that puts the pressure back on your opponent, and Atlas512 didn't have an answer. You know what? I'm so glad it wasn't a sweep because these two teams are just that good. Game 4 happens now, baby.
Well, 2-1 in favor of Atlas512. You know, you gotta give them one. You always gotta feel bad for them, so you gotta give them one in the perspective of Atlas512. You know, don't want to sweat it too hard. You're still at match point regardless of whether they won or not. It was a close game regardless. So, you know, it's a little less breathing room, but it's okay. Yeah, you could have had the sweep, but that's fine. We're just going to play to close it out. It's okay to give them one. We're just going to close it out. And in this perspective of DedGoose, you have, wow, all right, we're finally on the board. We finally got some momentum our way. Time to start shifting and moving forward.
Absolutely. When it comes down to team formation and tactics, it does feel like DedGoose is winning the play style game, but that doesn't mean Atlas512 is out quite yet. If they can find a way to match that pace and go back to the passing plays that worked for them in that first game, this could be even Steven or even done in less than 5 minutes.
N4K going for another solo play, getting to the ground fast so he can beat out two members of DedGoose, but Goose just going for the demo instead. Rule 2, crazy rule 2. Goose almost being able to bump two people at the same time, but they're vulnerable to the counterattack as N4K proves it as striking first blood.
How many times are you going to say this, fella? How many times are you going to say punished by 4K? It's happened too many times in this series account, and just like that, we have ourselves the first goal in favor of Atlas512.
It can't feel good as DedGoose being able to triple commit and not put that ball away, especially with how swift that counterattack is from this team. Devastating so far.
Oh, look, we saw a little bit of technical difficulties in that match there, and we're going to hit back up in just a second. But let me tell you one thing about this series. You know, when you talk about the shifting formations, the shifting tactics and all that, it seems that when each team goes back to their bread and butter, it works out best for them.
Yep, Deadman walking and going to try to go a little slow in their own corner, but not for Goose. Can clear the ball down the field. Faden going to beat Dark, but unfortunately it is just wide. Goose runs out of boost before he can officially get that into the back of the net. Going to beat Dark though. Dark, unfortunate touch. The game is tied. 3:21 left. What a calculated hit.
No, not like that. N4K with a pop, and it was just going the other way. Unfortunate touch. Dark tried to scramble back, but it wasn't there in time. And I've seen some goals in this sport there, big fella, but not quite like that. We're tied at one apiece.
Well, you got to feel good. Again, we take those in any situation, especially since you're down 1-2 in this series. That will be your motto for any mistake on the opposing team. Dark going to try to clear the ball out. Double commit on defense will lead to a successful 50 in favor of DedGoose so far. Faden trying to go for that demo. Snarf able to avoid it, but not for long, as Faden going to go for a round 2 and succeed in that demo. Faden going to be the first one to get the touch as well. Snarf on the retreat. Going to try to pass it by Faden. Go for another touch as well. Unfortunately, nobody's there except for Goose as he clears the ball right out to Faden. Faden getting a nice redirect, but unfortunately sniping Dark as End also gets a touch on it Snarf gonna get a revenge demo. N4K trying to clear it down, but not before Goose can be met with the 50. Ball going straight down. Deadman walking off the backboard, getting a nice touch. Fade into follow. Unfortunate bump, though. It's not going to lead to much, though. Seems like Team DedGoose is playing a little more passive than usual. They want to make sure they don't make any mistakes. As N4K going to demo out Goose. Deadman walking with a nice 50 setup. N4K going to be the first one to that ball.
It does seem that DedGoose is understanding that the goals here have been kind of hard to come by, so why try to rush that play to stack up a scoreline? It won't happen. Just a little bit of that clock management. And as I say that on the button, Faden makes it 2-1.
Beautiful execution by the team to never give up. Slight mistake by Snarf, and again, if you are Team DedGoose, you take every mistake possible, as Faden going to be able to capitalize off of Snarf's weak wall touch. Able to slam that into the back of the net with just under 2 minutes to go. Snarf, though, trying to get that quick goal and redeem himself, but not before Goose can fly in and save.
You know, people will say never give up, but I'm all about that giving up, man. Sometimes things are just too hard. If you're not feeling it, just walk away. And that's why I'm not at 9Moons this season. But yet, the scoreline is still the same, 2-1. And you know, DedGoose wants to make that third one for that insurance goal. But if you're Atlas512, especially if you're Dark, hitting that unfortunate own goal, going through your mind, you want to be able to get one back. I can tell they're being a bit more aggressive because of it.
Well, Novanta, if you look at your watch, we are taking a look at the witching hour. We are going to see some goals, hopefully, as Deadman walking, going to continue the pressure for Team DedGoose. Faded with a great opportunity, unable to capitalize, but now they have committed their soldiers for the offense. Now they're on the retreat. N4K trying to go for a wide shot as well. 1 minute to go with only 1 goal difference.
Well, this right here is the edge of your seat kind of moment there. N4K has been waiting, hoping to be a hero once more for this team. But they have to do something quickly. There's a shot there, but it's Snarf, the sleight of hand, bringing it down. We're going to have a tie game.
Snarf going to redeem himself off of that backboard mistake with a great touch. Faden trying his best. He was so close to saving that, but he was just out of reach. Tie game, and nobody is safe so far with just under a minute to go, Novanta.
Why Rocket League is so good. Less than a minute to go. Tie 2-2. Silver goal situation. The next one to score may be the one to be the hero for their side. Who's it going to be? Faden tries and floats over there, fella. Everything is being pulled forward.
30 seconds left. Both teams maybe starting to get a little bit of desperate here. And Dark playing very, very defensive right now, as N4K going to try to clear the ball all the way down the pitch. Goose going to have a great settle as well. Going to go a little high, but N4K gets a nice demo. But Deadman walking going to spawn right on top of the ball. Dark and N4K going to double commit, though. This could prove disastrous. N4K into the corner. 6 seconds left. Deadman walking keeps him out of danger. 4 now. 3 seconds now. And we may be heading to overtime. Snarf with a great pop, though. They got to be really careful. And 4K gonna put it away. And 4K leading Atlas to the victory with a beautiful 0-second goal. Are you kidding me?
All the egg people in the stands are on their non-existent feet. N4K makes it happen the last possible second. What a series.
Well, I knew it from the beginning with these two teams. We were going to have a fantastic series, and what a series that was. On the edge of my seat for most of that. DedGoose being able to take a game off of Atlas, who is a very strong team, time and time again, proving their worth. But again, we have to go back to the fundamentals. DedGoose, they tried their best, but Atlas was prepared.
Yeah, they was. You know, DedGoose had pretty much flashes of brilliance. They found a way to hold on to leads when it counted, but ultimately is trusting that three-headed hydra of that team. There really wasn't a third man in this series for Atlas512. If there's no third man, it's hard to person to mark, and that made it that much better. They had the advantage, the psychological advantage, and eventually the score advantage when it was all said and done.
Well, Novanta, normally, while I would absolutely thank everyone for watching and have an outro, I believe we have another game tonight. Very special treat. We have 3 games tonight. So we are very, very excited to have our third series, which is our #1 seed, Fribadunks versus Team Full Send, a team we haven't seen too much of, but are very excited to see on stream tonight.
Oh, wow. Bonus match here at 9Moons Monday. That's what I'm talking about, because this is Rocket League.
Yeah, I mean, both teams, again, Fribadunks, time and time again, it is a Blinksy team. It's automatically a championship caliber team. Blinksy is one of the best at enabling his teammates, and this season he's gotten 2 great teammates he's had in the past, so the synergy's already there, the communication's already there, and the skill is obviously already there since they're in the first place for the regular season.
Yeah, you know, first place regular season means you can probably coast or have some senioritis, but if you're a championship caliber team, if you see the chip in your future, you want to be able to try new tactics, you want to be able to try new formats, try to get themselves some new tools they can use in that playoff picture, which is just around the corner there, fella.
Yeah, I am absolutely ecstatic, just in general, to see these 2 teams. And again, Fribadunks again. I mean, Fribadunks versus DedGoose a couple weeks ago was a fantastic series. Very, very excited to see what they have tonight. But again, Full Send being the 4th seed. You know, they were tied with Atlas with a very tiny game differential, but with that huge victory of Atlas over DedGoose, it does put them in a spot for a possible 2nd seed. We'll have to do the math after the stream, but again, tonight, this might also be an opportunity for Full Send to maybe clinch a 3rd place when it comes into playoffs. So lots and lots of possibilities for these teams heading into playoffs tonight.
Got a real serious question for you, fella. What is a Fribadunk?
I have absolutely zero clue. That is something I would have to ask Blinksy if we ever decide to interview him. But as of right now, I have no idea.
Okay, well, if you guys know in the chat there in that Twitch, make sure you let me know because I'm new around here. And if you're in that chat right now, make sure you follow 9Moons. I mean, apparently, you can use your challenge points to unlock cool things. I'm just stirring the pot. It's your boy Novanta. I'm in the chat too. Come say hello, being alongside Big Fella. We have ourselves a bonus 3rd match tonight. You usually get 2, now you get 3. Fribadunks, excuse me, against Full Send. I'm gonna mess that up all night tonight, but that's okay. Make sure you stick around for 9Moons action. It's happening momentarily. I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, Fribadunks have been a very solid team in general. With Blinksy, Kevin, and Golden Shot as well. These guys have all proven their worth throughout the season and have really come to play every game. I mean, these guys have been outstanding so far. You know, they're #1 seed for a reason. These guys have been absolutely killing it out on the pitch.
Well, #1 seeds are great, but you and I both know that Rocket League is far beyond that, man. And it's an opportunity because going into the series, I thought DedGoose would have been able to roll over Atlas512. I'll be honest, I'll be willing to admit that I was wrong. It's a good thing I don't bet on these games because I'll be out of my apartment rent check. But yes, Fribadunks, #1 seed, you know they're going to dominate, or at least they're going to try to dominate, which means Full Send has to find a weakness in their game and quickly, because the last thing you want to do is give any kind of leeway to a boa constrictor.
Yeah, I mean, with the Captain Cap, I mean, he's been a very solid player for his team so far. We've talked about him a little bit. Greg Polo as well, a previous champion from 9Moons, as well as Bando, who we haven't seen too much of so far on the stream, but this guy has been killing it stats-wise. And so I am very, very excited to get this final game of the series, or final game of the week, excuse me, underway with Fribadunks versus Full Send.
You know, the last game was our main event. This right here is a bit of a bonus, and that was almost on point or cue for your boy Novanta, but caught breaks up across the wall in 15 seconds a lap, but we're seeing a faster game than we saw in the first 2 series.
Yeah, Blinksy trying to set the pace for the games. Is Kevin going to beat out Greg? We all know Kevin to be a fantastic bullet in the air. Cap going to take advantage of Blinksy's hesitation there. Get a nice little demo, but not before Golden Shot can return the favor with a demo onto Greg. Blinksy with plenty of space here. Going to try to roll it, not before Greg Polo can save it and clear it down the field. Golden Shot, a little bit of an awkward spot, not before Kevin can bail him out. Golden and Kevin, the golden duo so far. Kevin again, speeding down the lane. This is the fastest I've seen a car go all night.
Supersonic all 5 games, why not? Give me something to watch and something to marvel at. Like we said before, Fribadunks are #1 for a reason, and as I'm watching them now, it's because they found a way to anticipate where their opponent's going to be at a pace and speed you haven't seen quite yet today. That means if you're a Full Send, you're not going to beat them on pace, you got to beat them on aggression.
Yep, Golden Shot going to try to settle it off the wall here. Gets into another awkward spot, but does beat Cap, though. Now before Cap can get the demo as well, Greg Polo trying to continue the offense. Cap going to clear it back off of the backboard. Blinksy in a little bit of a tough spot as well. It seems Full Send has found their ground on offense a little bit. Kevin with a nice touch. Greg, little wide, goes to shot. Blinksy can't get a touch on it. Cap going to touch it one more time, and now before Kevin can clear the ball out. Golden Shot already cherry picking up there. Going to try to get the ball once more. Attempts a center. Blinksy diving in there for a shot on net before Cap can get that 50. And once more, we got some ping pong action now. Full Send is on the retreat.
You know, you talk about how fast Fripper Dunks was, a bit too fast there. It kind of cost them a goal in that last drive. But hey, look, the possession game is all for them. The position game is all for them. But you know what's not for them? The score line. Full Send first won the score. They draw first blood.
A little bit of an awkward rotation. Kevin here gets beat by Full Send there, but I believe Golden Shot just went for the boost, but you gotta believe me, man. Ball over boost every time.
I don't know. Boost is pretty cool, man. You can go really fast. You can go pew, 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 pew. I like boost. I'm team boost. Yeah, boost.
Supersonic is the name of the game, man. Golden Shot getting a demo as well. Ball remains in the corner as Blinksy and Golden Shot gonna tee up each other. Greg Polo gonna leave it for his teammate there. Lots of space for Cap to capitalize on. But now before Kevin can beat him to it with the supersonic speed. Beats two, but Greg gets a bare minimum touch on it. Blinksy with all the time in the world. 1-1 evens it up just over 2 minutes.
Oh, that was a perfect lob. And alley-oop, if there ever was one, unfortunately, inadvertently. But you know what? It was effective from Blinksy, bringing it down. And once again, we have ourselves a tie game. But you know what there, fella? I like the technical prowess there from Blinksy. I really do.
Absolutely. Blinksy is one of those players that you can always rely on. This guy is mechanically gifted in every shape and every word. I did not want a commentator's curse that one. Nice save by Blinksy. Kevin gets a demo, and now they start their power play.
Well, right there, it's like a cast of curse is my thing, man. I cast curse all the time, but hit the shot, another one on the frame, trying to bring it down, this time from Golden Shoot. And you know what? I like the fact that they're finding a way to use all kind of sides of the pitch. Didn't work out for them. Shooting accuracy needs to be refined a bit. But saying, hey, look, we went top down, let's go left, right from the corner. That's what you mean when I say shooting variety.
Yeah, Fribadunks definitely proving that they can shoot anywhere, they can pass anywhere. They're hitting their teammates left and right in terms of being able to pass it to them, not bumping them. But Cap gets a nice demo again to start off another power play for Full Send. 1-1 with just over a minute remaining. Golden Shot getting a nice touch, and that ball is in the corner once more.
Well, usually we'll say we wait to game 2 of the demos come out, but we're seeing them in rapid succession. It looks like everything's working fast. That shot's going to top of the bar and it's knocked around side. That's just all these teams understand. Say, look, there's no time for sussing out. There's no time for feeling each other out. You want to score. You want to make this a short series on both ends. And what you're seeing is kind of like Ryu versus Ken. These two teams that are so even, so equal, but so different and complementary. And they're happening right now, right in front of that net, and it's knocked away.
45 seconds remaining. Golden Shot gets the clear, seeing if he can get another touch. Yes, he can. That ball is now in the corners. Golden Shot tries to get an awkward touch onto Cap. Cap kind of reads it, but winds up posting himself a little bit. Good 1-2 from Cap to Bando, as Greg Polo gonna beat Golden Shot to that 50 here. 2v1, easy clear for Blinksy, but now before Cap can get a nice shot on net, Golden Shot is there to defend it. Again, Kevin on the backboard. Blinksy going to be the savior. Golden Shot, can he get the touch? Oh my gosh, flying out of nowhere. This guy is cracked right now. Beating out in that 50. Kevin, 5 seconds left. We may go into another overtime, but every time I've said that, I have been incorrect, Navanza, so we'll see.
Oh man, how many 0-second goals have we seen on one stream? That must be a record. But finally, we go to overtime. Golden goal situation. Who's going to be the first one to score? I can't call it, but you know, Full Send looking pretty hungry right about now.
I think the greatest thing about this season so far, Navanta, is that no series has been callable for myself. I've been able to witness all of these teams perform to the fullest. These guys have been absolutely cracked throughout the season, and I am just so excited to not know who will come out with the win. Everything is entertaining for me.
It's entertaining for me and as well, and I like the fact here in this overtime period, no one's kind of slowing down, no one's really that snake bit. We're seeing attacks on goal, and that goal was just a little bit wider to the left. That could have been over, and now we have ourselves a battle atop the left wall. Golden Shooter going around the corner, trying to be a hero, but stopped by Greg, and that's pretty awesome. Being able to put the car full forward and stop an offensive attack.
So many bumps right now. All players are angry with each other so far. Golden Shot getting a nice touch towards the corner. Blinksy utilizing that pinch off of the corner. Kevin trying to get the 50 with Bando, but not before Cap can just back pass it to himself into the corner. Little boost, but a lot of space. Cap might be able to capitalize on something. Golden Shot already up. Not beating Greg Polo, though. Blinksy going to take it to the wall and eventually the corner. But out before Cap again. Tries to put a halt to it. Buy a little bit of time for his teammates to get into position to get a nice clear off of it. But the touch from Golden Shot definitely is putting his teammates into a better position. Again, the ball is in the corner, but it's a no problem. Cap can't get a touch. Kevin has all the space in the world right now.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting to see in that first 2 minutes of the first game. We saw a pace that was out of this world. They're slowing down now, which pretty much means that pure speed is not going to be the key to victory for Fribadunks. They have to be a little bit more creative or ingenuity in their scoring attack. Still 1-1, almost 2 minutes have gone in this overtime period.
Yeah, 1-1. Both teams relentless to give up the first game. I mean, Cap trying to go for these back passes here, but doesn't seem like his teammates are in too good of a position. Kevin again trying to go for these crazy ceiling shots, you know, getting nice positioning into the corner. Greg Polo getting a weak touch, met by Blinksy. Again, ball going into the corner. Golden Shot with a nice little tap. Cap wasn't ready for that one. Kevin again trying to put it back into the mixer. Bando off the backboard, beating two. Not before Cap can intercept and start their drive on offense.
But a half game in an overtime period has a lap still tied at 1 apiece. Fribadunks in full send, basically arguably trying to compete for not only the series winning, but the best logos here in 9Moons this season. And we're seeing a little bit of that just car piling and dog piling in the corners, in that mid pitch. It looks like everyone's putting everything forward. That's aggression without demos, and that is a demo, and Gerg is a hero here.
Cap leading the charge for the offense with a great opportunity. Just with the demo on the goalie. Unfortunately, Fribadunks putting a little too much trust in Golden Shot being the sole savior in the net. Being met by the explosion from the team captain of Full Send, leading the charge 1-0 in favor of Full Send.
So let's break down what happened here. If you're a member of the Full Send squad, they tried to keep up with Fribadunks. They couldn't do it. They tried to be the nuisance meta in the mid-pitch. It held them down. And when it came down to them to really score that last goal, they went full-on aggression, using the demo on the line to make that work. That's how you take down faster teams. That's how you clip them off at the knees. And that's why they're 1 game up.
Yeah, I mean, Full Send doing a great job of trying to read how Fribadunks plays and trying to adapt to them. And they adapted very well in that overtime goal. Unfortunately for Fribadunks, they were unable to find the net other than just that one goal in the beginning. So I think Fribadunks really has to do a better job of trying to get it out of the offensive corner and really start peppering up the net. Really put a little bit more pressure on the offense, just like that key demo from Blinksy was a great job. Is anybody even back, actually? Greg and Cap having to double commit there to save that. Bando on the retreat as well, double commit and a whiff. Cap trying to one-man army this is Kevin. Gonna get a nice tap, but unfortunately it was right to Greg as Bando's in the air towards the corner. Met by Blinksy. Cap's on the retreat, having to use a little bit of boost to get back, but a great center. Kevin's a Golden Shot. Golden Shot can't make it quite yet.
Oh man, that has to be a really bad, tough thing to hear. Golden Shot can't make it quite yet, but yeah, there's so many opportunities that I thought it would have been already a score goal. But we have that 0-0 scoreline right now. But we're doing 2 different iterations of these 2 teams. It feels like everyone decided, okay, game 1 happened. Let's try to find new tactics at the same time. So it already feels like a brand new series. It already feels like 2 different teams are on the pitch.
Golden Shot already with a couple of demos, feeling like a real bully in this game too. Constantly upfield, which may prove to be a little detrimental for his team, but not before Golden Shot can get another demo. Passing down to his teammate Blinksy, who's just going to clear the ball. Ball goes up. Can Bando beat? No, actually, it's just by himself, but unfortunately can't follow it up, so Cap is going to have to spend a little boost. Both Kevin and Golden Shot going to make way for the team captain Blinksy. Can he make another solo play? No, denied by Cap. Golden Shot as well. Gonna be upfield, Blinksy with a great opportunity as well. I'm not sure if Golden Shot is AFK, but Kevin gonna do his best. Blinksy up as well. Golden Shot gonna finally alt-tab back into the game, find himself back on defense. As Kevin and Blinksy survive the 2v3 power play for just a little bit. Golden Shot going down to try to get a nice 50 before being denied by Greg, passing to Kevin up in the air as fast as he can. Blinksy getting a nice bump onto Greg as well. It's up to Golden Shot right now. Gonna pop up. Cap gonna play a little patient as well. Kevin up for the defensive play. And just over halftime, folks, and we have yet to see a team relentless as these two.
Well, you look at Full Send, what they're trying to do is pretty much try to do the whole fancy footwork thing. It's kind of the opposite of being creative. You're being creative, but you're really showing your hand. So Fripper Dunks has done the smart thing and said, you know what? We're going to drop back and just watch you. Just do your two-step and shutter step until you get near the goal, and it's not going to away. And so what's going to happen now? If you want to be Full Send, if you want to score, you got to go to more short passes, because the long game, the try to fake left, go right, is not fooling your opponent. Other than that, you're just wasting their time.
Cap gonna be teed off of, having to go on the retreat. Very little boost, gonna try to get the corner one. Not before being denied by Golden Shot. Again, this team of Fribadunks being very aggressive in this game too, though. But can they play the defense they need? Kevin up again, gonna tap it again. Double commit coming out of Bando and Greg. This could be detrimental as Cap, the last one back so far. Bando on the back wall. Blinksy gonna try to go for a solo play. Unable to capitalize on the situation. Bando getting a nice pinch clear down the field. Just Golden Shot and Kevin back to defend. Golden again gonna keep it into the corner. Double commit. Nobody's home. Blinksy's gonna be on the retreat. Finally gets it back into the corner again. Blinksy with a little bit of room trying to pinch it off of Kevin as they finally get that ball out of their half.
Yeah, this game has shifted from Rocket League to Twisted Metal, because everyone's just taking out everybody else. Does anyone want to score? Does anyone want to win the game?
Well, that's the only way anybody can win in game two is Cap trying to go for a solo play, stuffs it up against the top crossbar as Blinksy finally gets a little bit of space to play, but not before being bumped by Greg. But Golden Shot creating a little bit of a power play opportunity as Kevin up in the air, denied by Cap.
40 seconds ago, we still have no score here in game two, but you know Golden Shot wants to have an opportunity back. That was cleared back to them, and Kevin couldn't do it, but a base over the defender, and it's knocked away by Greg, and that one confused me, and I'm in the booth there, fella.
30 seconds left. Blinksy, the sole defender, beating out Cap and Greg. Bando, zero boost, having to defend. Snipes him. Bando with a great save as well. Kevin gonna pepper the net as well. Blinksy trying to get the bump onto Cap on the retreat, but not before Cap can clear it downfield. Blinksy now in a point of desperation. Golden Shot in an awkward situation. Bando gonna finish the ball into the back of the net with 8 seconds left.
Oh man, the grit, determination, the finesse, the execution. There you go. That could be, quite possibly, the only goal we see in this game, barring something miraculous. 8 seconds ago, 1-0, Full Send.
A little bit of an awkward spot. Golden Shot got caught out. Not sure of whether or not to go up the backboard or just go up and defend it. Blinksy, though, going to pop up the ball. Is this good enough for the team to create space? No. Ball is going to bounce down to the ground, and now it is 2-0 up against the first seed.
Hey, you was telling me Fribadunks this and Fribadunks that, but after 2 games, Full Send is that series point, and they've done the thing that so many teams have struggled to do when facing a stronger team, and that is chip away at the formula that stronger team uses to win these games, with 5 minutes away from potentially walking away with a sweep.
To be fair, Full Send, I believe, maybe was on 1 streamed game. So for us in the casting booth, very wild card-ish.
Yeah. walking it back.
There it is, man. I'm just trying to save face here. But what an exciting games 1 and 2 so far. Even with how little goals have been scored so far, both teams have been back and forth in this relentless offense and defense. Blinksy leading the charge, beating 2, Kevin to put it away. 1-0 in this game 3.
Well, it looks like the team of Fribadunks is like, we're tired of that Novanta guy talking smack. Let's score fast. Let's score technical. That's your one right there. 1-0.
Blinksy to lead the charge for his team. 17 seconds it took for that goal. What a speed kick What a speed flip. Kevin padding the stats of the demo on Greg, but Blinksy catching Cap and Greg off guard with the speed flip. Unfortunate redirect from Cap, but it's just going to go low and far post. Shout out to Coach Doyle.
I was updating my Facebook status, and what happened? Another score? Wow, Blinksy is just a superstar right now.
Leading his team to the charge is what he does best. I mean, being able to enable his teammates is one of the best leadership qualities possible. Greg going to try to clear the ball away. Cap going to put it to the side as Blinksy going to be the first face to show. Golden shot. Crazy shot on net. Actually was so close, just a little wide. Bando going to beat out Blinksy. Ball remains in the corner so far. Kevin, Lightning McQueen, getting beat out by Cap on the corner. Trying to self-dish, gets an additional touch. Bando can't follow through, although Blinksy going to try to play it safe. Once again, Kevin beating out Greg. On the retreat, 0 boost, finally gets a little bit to defend. Bando going to try to clear the ball. Doesn't get the second touch he wants, but golden shot. Trying to recoup for his team quite a little bit. Just under 4 minutes to go. Blinksy with a solo play, denied by Greg. Kevin, last man back, stuck in an awkward position. Cap is closing in. Miss once, miss twice, and Cap will take that every time. 2-1.
Oh, no, those are the kind of mistakes I just lie awake and think about. There was 1, there was 2, and just on the bottom floor. Blinksy try as they might, didn't get there in time, and that lead is cut in half. 2-1, still, Fribadunks out in front, but for how long, fella, how long?
Well, unfortunately, Kevin is a momentum-based player. You make those mistakes, you think about it too much, it could lead to disaster. However, Blinksy, one of those players who can always rally his teammates no matter what situation you are in, as golden shot. Gonna get demoed by Greg. Another getting passed by Blinksy. This game is tied 2-2 with 3:22 remaining.
Well, this is why we say Rocket League is kind of a fleeting game, because a second ago, look, Fribadunks was in cruise control, and Cap says, oh, no, we're not doing that at all. We have ourselves a tie score, and not a minute and a half has gone by. Just a little bit over a minute and a half has gone by here in Game 3.
Yeah, they have to be careful with their lead as Cap gets another quick one, not before Kevin can say, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, I'm not going to let you score. As just over 3 minutes, 2-2 remains. Kevin leading the charge for the offense as Blinksy takes it. Trying to get that double tap off of the corner. Great dunk as well. Greg can't get a touch on it. Cap, again, going to try to do his best to get over there. Greg finally picks up a corner boost as well. Cap getting bumped by his own teammate. Friendly fire, Greg. Friendly fire.
Well, that was a precarious position to be in, trying to make sure you're not causing an own goal, because you know how own goals can demoralize a team, but that was just kind of a cringy situation to watch, even though we're still tied at 1 apiece. Bando, bottom right, and we're not tied anymore. 3 goals scored, 3 goals unanswered. Full Send is out in front.
What a counterattack from Cap and Bando. Great duo. Great 1-2 action coming out of this team so far, being able to clear it down. Bando reading it very well and taking advantage of the offensive rotations out of Fribadunks. Fribadunks just caught with their pants too far down, unfortunately.
Well, I wouldn't think they wear pants, but that's what's up, man. But yes, 3-2 is the scoreline, and if you're Fribadunks, you're wondering, okay, well, there's kickoff goal, that happens, but that goal out in front was another, put yourself in a pace, and the scoring woes continue there.
Huge triple commit from both sides, actually. Cap, will he be fast enough? No, but Greg will be as he passes it and seals the deal. For Full Send right now, this is not looking good. It was very, very prospective for Fribadunks as they had that 2-0 lead. But after about 2 more minutes of gameplay, Full Send says, oh, no.
Yeah, that goal there, as a playmaker fiend myself, was the best way to play that ball, getting your teammates involved. That pumps everybody up, and right now they have a bit of that advantage.
Fribadunks have to be really careful about these triple commits on offense. I know a lot of times golden shot would be the last man back, maybe caught up by a little bit of that greed. But unfortunately, again, finally learns his lesson, hopefully, there with a great defensive rotation. It was a good retreat on golden shot to recognize the situation, but it may be a little too late as they're down by 2 with only 90 seconds. However, it is the witching hour.
Yeah, they're down by 2, but it almost feels like that confidence is completely evaporated with Ribbon Ducks. They're on ice skates now, and when it comes down to a desperation bomb or some kind of shot, because as it is right now, it looks like no one is in sync for those passing plays, even though they're only down by a very attainable 2 goals.
4-2 with just over a minute left. Fribadunks have to get it out of their own half, but Greg denying them the opportunity as Cap once again just keeping it in the mixer, not even bothering to shoot the goal so far, but just keeping it in their corner, constantly denying them of any space, any room for offensive counterattacks.
Oh yeah, Tyke, I said it before in the last series that clock management in Rocket League is a little bit difficult than compared to, say, other sports like football, but it's very important to take a little second or two to really slow down any kind of play if you have the lead, causing the opponent to come out of position to get that ball away from you, gives you a little bit more time to counteract what they plan to do with that ball. It's a smart play across the board.
Great tap to Blinksy, to Golden, to Kevin, but unfortunately can't make too much forward progress with it. Kevin just going to leave it for back corner boost. Kevin passing it down to Greg. Gonna take his time again. It is all the pressure in the world on first place Fribadunks in order to get these 2 goals. So feel free to take your time in your own half if they're not pressuring at all. 8 seconds left. Kevin to Blinksy, maybe. Blinksy gonna take the opportunity to back pass, but not before Cap can intercept. And it is looking like a swift 3-0 in favor of Full Send. Not the ending we expected.
Not at all, but Caps is savage, man. They get 1 goal for the road. Caps like, nah, smack. But yes, 3 games up. Full Send did the improbable by taking down the 1 seed. And if anyone's watching this right now, looking at playoff implications, they're probably taking notes. That's how you beat Fribadunks, because that's something we didn't see happening. We're seeing it coming a mile away.
Yeah, well, I mean, the standings will speak for itself. We are now into playoff season as of next week. These guys are absolutely crazy. Greg Polo taking down his former captain that he won the championship with in the past couple of seasons. I mean, these guys have been playing out of their minds. Cap, we didn't really talk too much in the 1 or 2 games that we were able to cast for him, but what a player he was. Bando really stepping up tonight and showing who the boss is in terms of the team chemistry. I mean, these guys have been back and forth like crazy. Greg Polo being just such a solid player. Odie always calls Greg Polo, one of the winningest players of 9Moons. I mean, tonight he showed it.
Blues of it all. I get it. Why not? If you win, you win. Why not? Full Send had no stars in the team on the pitch today, but everyone took time to be a star in their own right, and that's how you win series.
Absolutely. Well, tonight we have a little special treat for you all. We're going to be rating one of our awesome 9Moons content creators for tonight, RL Gamer Mom. So make sure to stick around. But as always, thank you so much for tuning in and watching us again. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned. Playoff week is going to be insane. Make sure you give RL Gamer Mom the most 9Moons love as possible.